emergency situation, no power, no water, no electricity, no nothing. Everybody's like total chaos. The helicopter's loaded down to the gills, much as I can carry. We're flying down the beach southbound. It didn't strike me what I saw at first, but I saw something that didn't make sense to my brain, and I was like, lifeguard jumps in the water, and my med crew is with me. I have 2 med crew in the back. So talk about right place, right time. They pull the lady up onto the beach, trail of blood, and I'm like, no way. Circled, landed, loaded her in the helicopter, flew her to Longwood Hospital, and they said,
"Are you serious?"
Yeah, we do.
Today we are here with Seth Zaluski, a very good friend of mine for, I don't know, the last 15 plus years. I met Seth. I was doing, he was flying a helicopter, and he was also doing a video shoot for a client of mine about 15 years ago. And we've been sort of together, riding together as sort of partners in that aspect of our business, which is all the media, literally for about 15 years. So he's also the producer of the podcast, and he sort of manages all of our production, everything we're doing on real estate, the whole 9 yards. So I'm super excited to be here with you today, and actually, having a conversation with you about where it all started. In my opinion, Seth is one of the craziest individuals I've ever met. Sure, yes, he has mental problems, obviously, which you're going to learn more about. I'm half kidding, but he's into cycling. He is the head helicopter pilot. He is a producer. The guy doesn't stop. He's absolutely incredible in so many ways. And I think certainly our audience can learn a lot from his grind, his struggles, his success. And we're here today. So let's get started, brother. So where did all this begin, dude? Talk to us.
Yeah.
How are you?
I appreciate the intro. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
Like-minded as well. So I think it's hard to say where it all started, because it started with eagerness. It started with the urge inside of me that, like, oh man, I'm not really where I should be. And I still, to this day, when I wake up, I'm not really where I should be. So I think that the drive is instilled in you, or maybe you have it and you just don't know it. A lot of people probably feel that same way. But for me, it started as I grew up on a farm.
Jeez.
On Long Island. We rode dirt bikes. We had go-karts. So I think from a young age, my dad would just kind of let me do things the wrong way. Oh yeah, you shouldn't go fast. Yeah. Through the bushes, upside down. Oh, well, yeah. I told you.
Oops.
Yeah. So, it was instilled from me at a young age, hard work ethic as well by my dad. And I've always just been a hard worker. I think that I enjoy the process. I think I enjoy the grind. It's part of me. At this point, I don't know any different, but it quickly turned from being a landscaper / caterer. I would drive people around in their cars, make sure they were getting places safer. I was like a chauffeur / caterer. Yeah. I was picking corn, literally. Yeah. I was the baggie. Do you know what that is?
No, what the heck is that?
So we used to pick corn from our farm to bring to the farm stand for the wealthy chefs. Yeah. And so there's always a guy that carries like 50 bags around his waist, and you're in heavy rain gear with boots, and you're trucking through like little skinny corn aisles. I mean, you fall down like 2 or 3 times a day. It's like you're basically carrying, and then you fill all the bags with 55 years of corn.
Yeah.
And you carry them to the edge.
Oh my God.
Then because you're the baggie, when the truck drives by, you have to lift all of them up. I mean, that was at 4:30 in the morning.
So who pushed you into that? Like, I'm sure it wasn't like, hey, who wants to do this? Like, was it your parents or your dad, or like how'd that start? How old were you when you were doing that, roughly?
That was when I was on the grind big time to save for helicopter school.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was my hardcore push to save money to put myself through flight school.
So did you start, as I mentioned before, so I kind of see you in 3 boxes, you know, helicopter, fitness, which is cycling, and then production, you know, media. Where did you start? Like, was it helicopter first?
I actually made a website and had a company like pretty much ready to go for event videography.
Okay.
And then somehow stumbled upon like the fact you could become a helicopter pilot as a civilian. And like, it just, my brain could not accept it anymore.
Wow.
Like I just couldn't get past the point that, because I didn't want to be bored.
Yeah.
I didn't become a helicopter pilot to be like, I'm a helicopter pilot. I looked in the future and was like, how can I not be bored?
Yeah.
Because I'm incredibly bored right now. Like this lawnmower is not it for me.
Yeah.
And hey, rightfully so. The guys who grew up with me, who started companies and have some type of blue collar trade, dude, they are so wealthy. They are crushing it.
The
where
grind,
I'm from.
it starts with the grind and doing things you don't want to do.
So that's not to say that's not the right avenue. Just for me personally, I always felt like I want to do something exciting. I saw the helicopters landing at the helipad and just, it never left my mind.
So what age roughly?
Okay. So 22.
Okay. So 22?
21, I started saving. I had been riding BMX, shout out to the BMX friends.
Oh yeah.
Up until about 19. And then I started really gearing up, saving money and becoming just, I would work like 100 hours, 110 hours a week.
No problem.
You're young. You don't need to sleep. You know what I mean?
And what was that like getting your, what would you call that? Basically your helicopter license or your, I'm sure there's a term for it that gets you
It's like a trade school.
Okay.
Yeah. I showed up. I went one time on a demo flight with some guy and I just was like, I honestly was like, this is amazing, but get me back to the airport.
Yeah.
Because like, I need to start saving. Like, I don't even want to put this seed in my brain till I'm ready to go. So now it's just teasing me.
Yep.
I need to get right back to work because this is what I want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you've got your license, you know, around that age. What are you doing with it? What did you start doing with that license? And then you mentioned you wanted to film some stuff or kind of jump into that.
So briefly, I'll go through just a quick recap because it's a lot. You know what I mean? It's like describing how you got to where you're at. It's a lot of steps. So started off, got my instructor license, learned how to teach people, loved it, taught students, flew right here in Palm Beach and got 1,000 hours and got my turbine transition from a company that flies crew to the oil rigs in the Gulf of Mexico. So, very, very hard work. You're sitting on oil platforms. There's like seagulls everywhere. Obviously what comes with a seagull, you know, smells terrible. They walk in it and then they get in the helicopter and it's like ammonia smell.
Oh my.
It's a hustle. It's a grind. And then from there did tours and charter, which was my dream to do charters to the Hamptons originally. Landed that and kind of was like, what's next? Okay, let's do some life-saving. Started flying medevac, Southern Illinois, the Midwest, and then got to Southern Georgia. Worked my way down here. In the meantime, had always been flying down here part-time. And then flew an ag helicopter for 9 seasons.
What is that?
A crop duster.
Yes. Okay. So
it's like strap your helmet.
Wow.
And you're riding. Yeah. It's very dangerous.
Okay.
So, but if you're focused and you respect your surroundings, you can make it out.
Isn't that one of the most dangerous sort of jobs there is, really?
They don't even, I honestly don't even think they consider it in dangerous jobs when they do that analysis and those reports of like, what's the most dangerous job?
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like they don't even add that one in there.
So the medevac, how long did you do that? I mean, that's,
I don't know the exact time, but I think somewhere around like 7 or 8 years.
Wow. That's a while.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
night vision goggles.
Like what was that like? That seems like that had to be kind of like, I mean, you're dealing with really bad situations.
Yeah. You're trained to take yourself out of the situation. Yes, there's someone who needs urgent medical care in the back. Sometimes it's real bad.
Yeah.
But the helicopter can only fly so fast, and it can only land so fast. And you have procedures. You just stick to your training. Smooth is steady, steady is fast. And you do the best you can.
So how often are you, flying the helicopter and you're actually looking at what's going on and saying, wow, that's not a good situation?
Yeah, it's there. You hear it. I mean, a lot of the time the med crew will ask you, I don't know. People sometimes don't like hearing this gnarly stuff. So if you don't like it, don't listen.
Yeah.
But so sometimes, the med crew will ask you, hey, what's ETA? And 12 minutes. Yeah, that's like 12 minutes too long for this guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously every time you're in that situation, it's a very serious situation. So it's like,
yeah, most of the time. I mean, then again, I've flown toothaches.
Yeah. Come on, really?
Yeah, seriously.
You flew.
And it's kind of frustrating. I'm dead.
Are you like, come on?
You first responders and pilots in that scenario are very similar. You're in it not for the pay.
Yeah.
Like you love the job, And I've taken away some amazing stories. I've taken away some amazing friends, experiences. It's been a long road.
What was the craziest thing you've done while flying like that? You mentioned there was some crazy thing like in the ocean and you saw.
Oh, so over my helicopter career, I've accumulated probably 10 stories that people would have trouble believing.
Yeah.
Okay. And people have this misconception that helicopters are dangerous. They're not. Okay. Getting in your car and driving on 95 is about 5,000 times more dangerous. Okay. But this is the most insane story. We were on a PR flight.
What
like a public relations flight.
Okay.
Because it's like first come, first serve in that world in a sense. So if you have like your mouse pad on like the desk and you went and recently just said hi to everybody, they're going to be like, oh, let's call that helicopter, instead of the other one. So there's a lot of PR involved. It's very political.
Mm-hmm.
And we had been handing out mouse pads, flirting with some nurses. And we're flying down the beach southbound at like 500 feet. And I literally was just, I like, it didn't strike me what I saw at first, but I saw something that didn't make sense to my brain. And I was like, something triggered me to just turn. And when I turned, I saw what my brain thought it saw, which was commotion in the water and like this murky-ish looking not right scenario. And 2 seconds later, lifeguard jumps in the water and I'm now fully immersed in what's happening, obviously looking around for traffic. And my med crew is with me. I have 2 med crew in the back. So talk about right place, right time, making a turn. They pull the lady up onto the beach, trail of blood. And I'm like, no way. Literally, we call the blind, which means like just start calling frequencies that quite possibly could be in this area. We ended up talking to the state police and they said, yes, they want you to land. Wow. And this lady had just been literally attacked by a shark in front of my own 2 eyes. I saw it and I was in a medevac helicopter, circled, landed, loaded her in the helicopter, flew her to Longwood Hospital, and they said saved her life 100%, would have died.
Are you serious?
Yeah, we all had to stand on a podium and get like awards. I got a Meritorious Life-Saving Act award.
Wow.
Yeah. The lifeguard got, I think, the Medal of Valor. He got the highest civilian rated. He like literally jumped into peril like when the shark was still there. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just unbelievable, the timing. You're right on it. You look down and there's a shark eating a person.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It bit like pretty much her whole leg off.
Was the leg there? Was it gone?
It was still there, but it was like gone, but still there. I mean, the med crews are a little bit sick. They're like, check this out. And I'm like, gosh. I really swim in the ocean. I really don't want to check it out. And they're like, you have to. Yeah. And I'm like in my head, like, of course I have to. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, it's been a wild ride. I mean, between flying celebrities, I'm in charge of people's lives. You know, it's a very serious career.
So the other thing I wanted to touch upon, I had a client of mine who does disaster relief.
Okay.
And I remember talking to you like, oh yeah, he's over in the Carolinas or Georgia and helping out. And I think you told me, dude, I'm flying, I'm bringing food over and everything else. So two things, I guess. There was a situation where you helped somebody, I guess, brought them something.
Yeah. So you're referring to North Carolina,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Okay. So when the floods occurred from the hurricane and the dams were going to break and they released them, I believe that's the story. Don't quote me. We get contracted for World Central Kitchen. Okay. This has been my third hurricane working with them. I work directly with the main people involved. Number one being Chef José Andrés. He'll sit right next to me. I mean, the guy is like ride or die. Yeah. Like he's like, get these people what they need at all costs. And of course, you know, the pressure from that is being a professional. You're trained to like, okay, pressure, understand, safety, number one. You know what I mean? Yeah. But so we rolled into Asheville, North Carolina. We were one of the first helicopters there. Emergency situation, no power, no water, no electricity, no nothing. Everybody's like total chaos. We land and they figured we were going to work out a Bears barbecue in Asheville. And so I'm like, they're like, where are you going to land? I'm like, in the parking lot right there. And they're like, okay, cool. So they use me and they use my experience to set up operations. Okay. I'm more than just a pilot now, right? Like I'm organizing, hey, this is what we can take. This is, you know, these people are going to help load. I'll train them. It's a very serious situation. So my first load, I take 1,100 baby back ribs just off the smoker wrapped in aluminum foil. The helicopter's loaded down to the gills much as I can carry. And we go out. And when we go out, I mean, it's total devastation. Like people have lost everything. So we come over a ridge line and we're looking at where the river really was flowing heavy and it just totally blew out bridges. And I see SOS written in the dirt. Wow. And we literally do our recon, you know, safety first. It's like, I can't express enough how helicopter pilots have two separate lives. They live this insanely strategical mission, but let's get the job done. And they, you know, they have to clash in a specific way. So we land and people come out and are just like on their knees, dude, and open up the back door and like hand them like hot baby back ribs. Like the level of hope that you're giving them is like, yeah, it's pretty heavy. I try not to talk about it too much.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, for us, like not being there, obviously, you know, in the media, it was kind of strange. It almost was like it wasn't covered. Like the reality of it almost wasn't shared. Like what's the reality? Like what on a scale 1 to 10, like with what you saw and the damage and everything else, what would you know, in your opinion of how bad things actually were, what would you say?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't really watching the news at the time, but I was getting, hey, can you rescue this person? Hey, can you do this person? I said, look, I can put you in touch with the National Guard. I can put you in touch with the helicopter that will come right now. If someone's in peril, like I am that connection. So please hit me up, but understand I don't have any cell phone service.
Wow.
At the same time.
Yeah.
So I'm getting hundreds of messages. Can you save this person? My mom is there, my uncle, you know, and our job is to bring hope, you know. Do we fly people? Yes. We're a charter company. Yes, we can fly people. If someone's in peril, guess what? The food's getting thrown out. The person's getting put in. We're going to where they need to go.
Yeah.
But our job was to bring hope. And that's, feed the people.
And as far as devastation, what did you see there? Like, were
total
there people, dead?
Yeah.
Like, were there?
You've seen the videos. Yeah, people unfortunately
and you're
lost
right
their
there.
lives. Yeah, I'm used to it.
That's
you separate yourself.
Yeah.
Your job is to do the best you can do to help the current situation.
Wow.
You can't fix what happened.
Yeah, really, you can't get emotional whatsoever.
No,
right?
you have to separate the two. The only time I've ever gotten emotional is flying kids that got,
wow,
abused or something.
That's
intense. Yeah.
Jeez.
No. Like the med crew, having to hold the med crew back, like, no, like, don't kill that guy.
Oh my God.
Like, and they are ready to kill someone.
I'm sure.
Like what happened to the kid is,
yeah.
I have so many stories, but so.
Let me just ask you one more thing on that. How long did it take you to be able to block that? It's almost like you're going to a war. Like, how long did it take you in your career to block that out and to say, I see what's happening, but I've got to focus on the job here?
I knew the mission from day one because of the situation with the helicopter. Like, if I don't pay attention to my job, then we can't do anything.
Wow.
Yep. So from day one, really, it's your mindset.
Wow.
And I carry that in my life with everything that I do.
Yeah.
It's like setting up these lights. Like, I'll make it perfect to the last second.
Absolutely.
And you're like, we got to shoot. And I'm like, okay, one more light.
Yeah. Totally. I know that about you. So.
Yeah.
So basically, you're still very active.
Yeah, I'm the chief pilot now of a charter company.
I feel like every other day I'm talking to you, you're flying somebody, you're doing something.
Yeah, they tie together the careers a lot of film involved with the heli. We just did Bad Boys 4.
Wow.
So I was in the movie, and then, it just transpired. I never in a million years pictured me in my room at 19 years old.
Yeah.
With this burning desire to be something where I'm at now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that kind of leads us into the cycling part of your life, which is probably the most insane, I think. I mean, even it's hard to beat out the helicopter stuff, but
it is hard to beat that out.
So you recently had some great success. So, can you tell us a little bit about that success? And sort of, you placed, I think, one, and I always see you up on the podium. I feel like every other week. What role does cycling play in your life? And tell us a little bit about the dedication that it takes to be successful in that world.
So that's a tough one, because I want to start with cycling is mental fortitude. Okay. It is the definition of dedication. Like, if you're not dedicated, going out and cycling and having a good time is not what we do. Okay.
Understood.
I enjoy the process, and it facilitates my mind in life. It all goes back to the beginning. Everything that has happened in my life. And I'd love people to understand that you do not just wake up an overnight success. It is extremely hard work, and it takes years. And this was 20 years in the making for every aspect that we're going to talk about. Number one, I went to a course when I was about 18 years old that my parents made me take. And my dad's been a leader in my life, meaning like not by telling me, but by showing me, like, this is what I'm going to do, you know? And so he made me take this course. It was super strange. They made you like stare into people's eyes and do weird stuff, man. It was strange. The first day I was like, get me out of here. I was like this 18-year-old punk kid, But what I learned from that course that I took away is that it's not about if you have the opportunity or not, because a lot of people have opportunities, but a lot of people don't have opportunities. The key element is that you create the possibility, because no matter what, if you have it or you don't have it, you can still create the possibility for yourself. And that just means taking the steps and opening those doors, because when one door opens, and you have to keep creating the possibility, you can't just, oh, I did it. Okay, I'm done. So the cycling is an expression of me where I continue to strive. Okay, I've reached what I wanted to reach with helicopters. I'm still going. But with the cycling, even though I won that championship, it's the process.
Mm-hmm.
So the cycling started at a young age. I rode BMX. I always have been into extreme sports. I rode stand-up jet skis and used to hit like huge flips in the ocean, like 30 foot, break your back, break your everything, sprain all your ankles, wrists, like, it's part of the process.
Yeah.
But for the cycling, for someone who is amazing at everything they do, and if you just pick up a soccer ball, your first pick, if you pick up a football and you stand on line and your second pick or first pick, they probably will not do well at cycling, because you have to work insanely hard to be competitive. It's not going to come natural unless you're some type of like superhuman. So we grind hard, we train. I train every morning, and I just stay dedicated to the fact that the process is part of me.
So what was that race that you recently won?
I won what's considered the USA National Championship.
Okay.
So that makes me the national champion #1 in the USA. That title is specific to marathon distance, meaning it's a 50+ mile race. It's like plus 3 hours. It also is specific to the fact I'm not racing 19-year-olds. Okay. If you made me race 19-year-old me, I'm probably going to be like, well, I don't really want to race 19-year-old me.
Yeah.
Like, yo, can I get the 40-year-old version?
Yeah, where's
like,
the older dudes?
Where's the guy who's been through life has to really dedicate his time, and it's about time management, really.
Yeah.
Like, I have to get up at 4 if I want to go get in a 2-hour ride. I have to get up at 3:30 if I want to get in a 3.5 hour ride. Like, I'm a morning person, so I got to get up, grind, and be ready for work. If I'm out there past 9, my phone is just dominating me, and I'm not, it's not an effective ride anymore.
Yeah.
Same in the afternoon. It feels like such a task in the afternoon. I'm just not about
half
it.
He doesn't want to do it. The other half.
Now, so that's for 40 to 44-year-old men. Okay. Mm-hmm. They put you in a 5-year age gap. Your cells don't produce the same at 50 that they do at 40.
Yep.
Why should I be racing a 50-year-old? So in masters category, that's what they call it. You still have to race the baddest of them all. You still got to show up. You still got to be the baddest.
Everybody in that age group doesn't mean,
those are some stone cold, hard as steel dudes.
Because
like
everybody's working just as hard.
They got life just like you. Yeah, they got life, man. And it's a process. So.
Yeah, I had a kind of funny story. So earlier this week, I have a running coach, and I want to just talk to you about that in a second. But, he was like, he said, yeah, I went for a run, and we were going for an easy, long run. And he got, with a group of runners, and he goes, yeah, they all wanted like, low 6-minute pace. And I kind of said, all right, well, I guess we're doing it. I was like, it's all relative, dude. It's like,
that's
right. It's like,
okay. So this is the biggest topic in my world, because the training is strict. Our training is based upon an accumulation of time in specific zones. Some rides are 5 hours in a low zone, just grinding. The goal is not to smash. If you're smashing, you're doing it wrong. Okay. It's adaptation. You're teaching your muscles to flush lactic acid. You're teaching your body to deal with this type of stressors. Okay. The second, like today, I had to go out and spend a certain amount of time in VO2. And so I ended up accumulating 30 minutes, not all at once, but throughout intervals to make my body adapt to VO2. So it's based upon time and zone and what the goals are when race day is.
I've noticed, we're roughly around the same age, early 40s. I noticed, I think when I started really paying attention to my clients, that many of my most successful clients, they all have, assistants all over the place. So meaning not an assistant, but, somebody to assist in their life, basically. Running coach, trainer, body work. Because we're all so busy and we have so much going on. How important is coaching in your life?
Crucial. I have had, so I had a fitness coach, and he still kind of holds my hands on certain workouts, but my new cycling coach. So I have a fitness coach, a cycling coach, and I'm like just shy of having a nutritionist because it's 2%, and that 2% separates you from the rest.
Yeah.
And I mean, in my space, right? But overall, it just goes to show, like, almost all of my friends are insanely successful that are on the bike. It's a mentality, most guys on a group ride or whatever, like doctors, lawyers, like all predominantly overachievers. You have to be a little bit extra to want to go out at 4 a.m. and the first thing you do is bleed out of your eyes, or at least what feels like it,
When did you, so obviously, this requires a lifestyle change, and, we're all getting older now, and even you've seen it from people we've sort of spoken to in the past. Like, how have you changed, or did you change, or have you always, I'm assuming you live a pretty clean lifestyle as far as going out partying, staying out late. And I don't even say partying. At our age, it's more like late dinners, vacations, like, I can't do it anymore. I mean, I'll go on vacation and relax a little bit, but in my normal life, with everything I have going on, I'm like an old man, dude. I'm up at 5. I'm in bed early. I get the 2 kids. Like, how do you manage the social aspect of your life, or do you even have one at this point?
So that makes me think, like, wow, I don't really have a social life. But the truth is that the people I affiliate with are on the same page as me. You're always going to have people that surround you that are better than you. And I've always strived to have those people in my life, whether it's the guy who owns a helicopter company, he's my mentor. He has mentors. I speak with you on the daily about certain things. I definitely take some mentorship on certain aspects. Like, the life that we live now is calculated.
Yeah.
It's crucial that I don't go out and have 5 beers.
Yeah.
Me, you know what I mean? If I have a beer, I'm probably going to feel kind of hungover.
Yeah. Isn't that nuts?
Yeah. Like, it is what it is, dude. I mean, welcome to your 40s. I mean, unless you're a pro, I'm not a pro though. So
when I was training for a marathon, I would have, and this was like years ago, I'd have a couple glasses of wine, and then you're up at, like, especially those long runs, you're up at like 4:30. I would feel them for like a couple hours. It's unbelievable. I mean, I know we're sounding like the world's biggest babies here, but the point is, if you're in the zone and you're getting up and getting after it in the morning, you've got to kind of watch everything that goes in your body. Yeah,
it helps me be focused. It helps me, like, I really enjoy waking up and going, hitting a ride, eating healthy. I feel healthy. I feel light. I feel airy. I'm a lean guy. I have to be careful in the gym, even because of my cycling. If I go in the gym and work out, I'll start bulking up.
Yeah.
My fiance loves it, but I'm like, well, I'm going to get beat on cycling. You know what I mean? Like, did you start bulking up, you guys start going back.
Did you go through a stage where, when you were sort of, because we all used to like to have a good time, obviously. I think aggressive people like to be aggressive. Like, it's like, let's get after it, Yeah,
but it's unfortunate.
How was that transition? Did you have a lot of people like, hey, come out? Or giving you kind of
it happens naturally.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Like 1 minute you're like so excited to go out and party and see your friends and enjoy dinner. And the next minute you're so excited to just sit on the couch and have a minute of peace, you know, and enjoy your surroundings.
I've also recently seen, like with my group now, you know, most of my friends are, as you mentioned, extremely successful. Even in my age group. I mean, my friends, you know, shout out to my buddies, you know, many of them, but it's like, these are hardworking, grinding, consistent people. And, you know, for the most part, all of them have been, you know, working on this since, you know, college basically, or that age group. So, you know, they all get it. They understand like, no, I got to work in the morning, or I'm working on this, or, you know, they get goals. So it's much easier around those friends that are aligned with you.
It is when you're all in line.
Totally.
It comes naturally, but I think if you're out there and you're like still wanting to party, but wanting to be successful, or still want to party and wanting to, you know, start to see results in other places of your life, you're going to have to make a change. Yeah. You know,
there's people that grind through it and do it.
Yeah. So some people can go.
Dude. Yeah.
I mean, there's guys that show up on the line and they're just like had 10 beers like 2 days ago. And I'm just like, yo, more power to you. Like, I'm not able to doing that.
Yeah, no, I think it's got to be the age thing.
Yeah, I don't know. They're like close to me. Okay, so one step at a time. It really takes dedication. The key word is dedication and sustainability. But overall, create the possibility. And all I mean by that is just create an opportunity, right? I said if you don't have the opportunity, you got to create it, right? Create the possibility of, even the possibility you might be able to get that job. Even the possibility you might be able to win that race. Even the slightest chance, man, that you could go out and you could do something you never pictured yourself being able to do, you got to just go for it. You got to dedicate and pound for that goal.
Seth, how do you, and I think of myself and other people like yourself, like this overachiever, high achiever, the whole deal. How do you deal with failure? So, you know, we all have it. Like there's nobody that, like, when you look at the top of the top, someone's usually winning and someone's usually not. And they're both great, but it's just like it's like the Super Bowl. They're both great, but someone's going home losing. So how do you overcome that, you know, in your career? And do you have anything like, what would you recommend to people that are sort of trying to grind, whether it's helicopter, cycling, media? How do you overcome that? Because you can, you know, the more successful you get, the more difficult it can be to lose something where you think you shouldn't.
Yeah. The first step is the easiest one.
Yeah.
like step 27 gets harder. Step 5090 gets brutal because someone's got a baseball bat up there ready to just knock you off that. You know?
And you're good at what you do. You think you should succeed. Why should you fail? But you do. Or why'd you lose the race? Because you did. How do you handle it? So people want to know.
To me, the best way to handle failure is just through staying positive. You're gonna fail. It's part of the game. But as long as you have the end result in mind and you know in the back of your head, I want to be here. You might need to make a left before you go right. You need to go right before left. Like, it's going to bounce back and forth off the failure sidewalls. Yeah. But you're going to get pointed in the right direction, and the cone of certainty is going to get smaller because the closer you get to that goal, you can start to really taste it. Yeah. Yeah.
So your process is what? Like, let's say you lose a big race. Yeah. Well, I want to know the down and dirty. Like how, what goes on through your head?
Well, I don't show up to every race with the mentality that I'm going to win.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah. And I said this actually the other day, because realistically, you're never going to win every race in cycling. There's always going to be someone stronger. And that's a lot of failure. So it's best to keep a level head, but at the same time, I don't want to be the guy who's like all in moderation. I hate that. That's not a real thing. It's total psychopath, 100% dedication, full gas till you hit the wall.
I agree.
And then fall down. And then just once you get back up, pin it exactly into that same wall until you can break through it. So, so realistically speaking, you strive for what you know you can achieve in a certain amount of time. The long goal, you can probably achieve anything, but in a certain amount of time, probably, I don't want to say don't set your expectations too high, because you need to really set them. You need to really think outside the box.
Maybe it's understanding that along the way, keep your eye on that goal, but along the way, you're not going to win them all.
No. Yeah.
Yes. But it's hard when you lose something. Like even
I mean, for you, I'm sure
but like, yeah, you're like, oh, I should have got that property. I should have had that sale.
Yeah.
I should have, and it hits you.
Well, I'll get the next one.
Yeah.
I'll see you guys next time.
You're like, F you, I'll get the next one.
Oh, my friends love it because they know when I fail, I'm going straight to grinding.
Yeah.
Like I made a promise to myself this year that at 42, I'd be stronger than I ever was in my whole life. And I already hit that 3 months in. So yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I'll ask you this, so we didn't really touch on the media stuff. That's, I mean, you're 110%. You're basically 110% on all three of these categories.
Yeah.
You're working around the clock, but where, I know you and I are doing a ton of amazing things.
I love it.
And you're busier than I think you've ever been media wise.
Yeah.
Your work's incredible. What's your next step, do you think? I mean,
I'm trying to grow a team. I've recently worked with some teams that made me realize like, I need a proper team. And don't get me wrong, I have always had guys in my pockets that have been boosting us up and we grow together. But I'm really just focused on facilitating my team.
Yeah, and allowing them more responsibility.
I mean, my guys, they'll tell you right now, oh, you want to work with Seth? Like, get ready to feel uncomfortable. Yeah. Like, you're going to get into situations that you like are a little bit nervous.
They've been excellent to work with.
They're
from my
amazing.
Standpoint.
They're
I love
awesome.
them.
Yeah, so I really appreciate what
dedicated,
they do.
They're focused, which is great.
Yeah. So to cap up and to just kind of hit on that last nail to finish it is, man, the studio is a reflection of where I wanted to teach myself lighting. Yeah. So I always wanted a studio, and I had the opportunity with my business partner who owns the flight simulator racers to create a studio that we wanted to be the way we wanted it to be, an open space with open opportunities. And I'm learning lighting, and that's it, man. We're doing it.
You're a wild cat, man.
It's tamed cat.
Yeah, tamed cat, dude.
Yeah. I'm not a 25-year-old me, but I'll still,
I think this is probably a better version of you.
We're at the perfect place.
I don't know if I'd want to know you at 25.
You live, you learn.
You might not want to know me. So
we met at the perfect time.
I think we did. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. But man, opportunity, possibility, and just strive to be what you want to be.
Awesome. And I want to talk a lot more about, on different episodes for people trying to get in the business of media, trying to get into cycling. We got much more stuff to come. So.
Yeah. And obviously I'm a part of the production, so I can let people in on a little secret that like, hey, we have some serious hitters coming on the show.
Absolutely.
Like I have some in my pocket that are you're going to want to tune in.
Well, already too. We got some good stuff going. So anyway, so thank you. Yeah. You're the man.
You're the man.
And if you like what you've seen today, follow the channel, stay tuned. Many more awesome, discussions to follow. So that's amazing, bro. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Cool. Hit us with one ender really quick where you just say, that one was great. Was it good? But just direct to camera and just say,
was that one good though?
Yeah.
What am I saying? Sorry.
If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and check this video out. Here, if you enjoy this video, here's another one just like it.
That was awesome. If you enjoyed this video, check this video out. Nope. Too many videos. I got you.
Yep. Here's another one just like it.
That was awesome. Thank you for joining us. And if you enjoyed this video, here's another one just like it.
Perfect.
Oh,
Sick.
that was pretty good. Yeah, I know.